AITA for not letting my friends use my backyard for their wedding because they do not want me to bring a plus one. I, 30M, recently bought my grandparents' house. It's not just a house to me, it's home in the deepest sense of the word. My grandparents lived there for decades, and it's where I spent my best childhood memories. It was the hangout spot for me and my friends growing up. Late nights by the lake, summer bonfires, sneaking beers when we were teenagers, sleepovers in the gazebo. It was the place where life happened. One of my closest friends, Dave, 31M, was practically raised at that house too. He and I met in elementary school, and we've been inseparable ever since. We were the kind of friends who finished each other's sentences, knew each other's family drama inside and out, and even had a secret handshake well into our teenage years. Dave has been with Kim, 29F, for almost a decade. They're that couple that always seemed meant to be, the kind where people just knew they'd get married eventually. When I told them I was buying the house, they were ecstatic. Not just because they knew how much it meant to me, but because they asked if they could have their wedding there. Now, this house is gorgeous. It has a huge backyard, a lake, and a stunning gazebo that my grandfather built himself. When Dave and Kim asked if they could have their wedding ceremony at the gazebo, I immediately said yes. I was honored. It felt like a full-circle moment. Two of my closest friends getting married at the place where we grew up together. I didn't hesitate for a second. At the time, I was in a relationship with my girlfriend, Leslie, 30F. We had been together for 4 years, and things were serious. So serious that she and I were actually planning to buy the house together. We had talked about our future there, imagined raising kids in the same backyard where I grew up, and even discussed renovations. But then, during the process of securing financing for the house, I uncovered something I never saw coming. Leslie was drowning in debt. I'm not talking about a little credit card debt or a car loan. I'm talking a mountain of financial disaster that she had kept secret from me for 4 years. Credit cards maxed out, personal loans stacked on top of each other, tens of thousands of dollars gone, with no explanation for where it all went. I was completely blindsided. I felt betrayed. It wasn't even just about the debt. It was the fact that she had lied about it for our entire relationship. She let me plan a future with her under completely false pretenses. When I confronted her, she cried, begged me not to leave, promised she'd fix it. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't stay with someone who could keep something that huge from me for so long. So I ended things. That was 6 months ago. Here's where things get messy, eh? I met Leslie through Kim because they're cousins. Kim and Dave are the ones who introduced us. And at first, it was great. We all got along, we double dated all the time, and I honestly thought Leslie was the one. So, obviously, the breakup caused a lot of tension. Leslie did not handle it well. She was convinced we'd get back together. Even now, 6 months later, she still sends me long messages about how she knows we're meant to be and how our love is stronger than this obstacle. She's shown up at my house multiple times trying to talk, despite me making it very clear that I'm done. About 2 months ago, I started dating again. It wasn't anything serious at first, just dipping my toes back into the dating pool, but I eventually met someone I really like. She's kind, funny, supportive, and honestly makes me feel like myself again. For the first time in a long time, I felt genuinely happy with someone new. Then last week, Dave and Kim invited me over for dinner. I thought it was just a casual hangout, but it quickly became clear that they had something specific to talk about. That's when they hit me with this. We need you to not bring a date to the wedding. At first, I thought they were joking. I literally laughed. But when I saw their serious faces, I realized they weren't kidding. I asked why. Kim sighed and gave me this look. You know, the one people give when they think they're being reasonable, but are actually being completely unfair? It's just, Leslie is still really struggling with the breakup. It would be really hard for her to see you with someone else, especially at the wedding. We just want to avoid any unnecessary drama. I was stunned. So let me get this straight. They're asking me to host their wedding at my house, on my land, using my gazebo, but I'm not allowed to bring a date? Because my ex, who I want nothing to do with, might feel uncomfortable? I told them, as calmly as I could, that their request was completely unfair, that they had no right to dictate my personal life, especially at a wedding they were holding at my house. Kim got defensive, saying it wasn't about me, but about keeping the peace. It's just one day. Can't you just do this one thing? For Leslie's sake? I told them absolutely not. If this was their condition, then they needed to find a new venue. Dave and Kim are furious. The wedding is in April, which means they now have less than 3 months to find a new venue. They claim I'm being petty and vindictive, and that I'm ruining their wedding over something small. Kim even accused me of doing this just to get back at Leslie, which is insane. I just don't think it's fair to ask me to put my own happiness on hold for my ex's feelings, especially at my own house. Mutual friends are split. Some think I'm being completely reasonable. It's my house. I should get to have my own rules. Others think I'm being harsh and should just let it go to avoid drama. Even my parents weighed in. My mom thinks I should let it slide for the sake of friendship, but my dad literally laughed and said, "Hell no." So, Reddit, AIDA?